Hello. It's been a while. Um, so I'm gonna go backwards to document how this week has been going. I frankly don't even know when the last one of these I recorded was. I've missed quite a few days, and I don't really have any excuse on why I've missed so many days. Um, this morning, from about we got Teresa and I got up at 7 a.m. and we left around 8:40 a.m. We headed out to Teresa's family, since her grandparents have owned this like lake house in Island, somewhere in Wisconsin, but they take out the piers and deconstruct it every winter. So I went out to help her dad and uh, her family put in the piers and do cleanup and what they call open the lake. So that's how I spent most of my morning. We went out for lunch at this pub right by the lake, and I had the same burger the last time I went to help clean up there. It was good. It was like a barbecue burger. It had like fried onions on it and bacon and like this spicy barbecue sauce. It was good. Um, Yesterday there wasn't too much special to talk about at work. One of the senior engineers is again going on vacation, so I'll be stepping up next week, and I expect things to be pretty busy. But regardless of that, I had my hunter game yesterday night, and uh, it went. I mean, the interesting thing about the hunter game is a lot of exciting things are happening again. There was a lot of sessions for like almost I would say the past year where things I really didn't feel like I was ever closing out on things. I was opening up plot threads and things were just expanding and expanding. And part of that's just the nature of hunters and their inquisitive natures expanding scope of storytelling and resulting in more questions being asked that I have to either fill in gaps for or like snake around and create routes and create routes for. And or not necessarily create, but think up routes and think up routes for. And ultimately, uh, we are getting to a point where I am going to wrap up this current quote unquote arc, as what I'm calling it. And then I have two more storylines I kind of want to get through. And then that's about it for everything. I feel like I'm super dedicated to like close out on the Hunter path, and then after that, whatever happens with the World of Darkness game happens with it. I'm not sure if it's going to end. I mean, I'm talking about things that are 7 sessions out. 7 sessions out are like at least 3.5 months from now, if not like 7 months from now. So we're talking early 2027 end date at the earliest, probably, which is still like ridiculously far into the future. If I now I'm saying that out loud, but yeah, things finally feel like they're getting to a place where I can at least hit a somewhat satisfying conclusion to this set of characters and kind of ask meaningful questions to close out these characters' arcs without just killing them. I did actually have a chance to kill off Yannick Tinselton, that character, last night. I didn't. Part of me thinks I could have because I was kind of thinking in the shower today. There is a path where, based on the decisions of the game last night, I could have just killed them off, like starting with Tinselton one by one. And actually, one of my players had said that was secretly my plan last night after I said I had a chance to kill out Tinselton. No, that's not my plan, but I could have pivoted really easily, and I don't think it would have been satisfying, especially for how long everyone's been playing the game. But I definitely could have. In fact, it almost makes more sense if I had, but I can't get into that because I think some of them watch these. Anyways, that was Friday. Thursday, and here's another thing I've been thinking about with these vlogs. Because I can't truly log my life because of the nature of my work at GE Healthcare and just the privacy of information of working at GE. I can't like bring in a camera. I can't even talk about really the projects I'm working on without giving too much away and getting in trouble. I could say very generic things like, oh, I had an international call with Beijing on Wednesday for an hour and Thursday for an hour. But I have those same calls every week, so that's really just a detail of my life at this time. And it's a detail that's been true for the past 8 months, so it's not really anything special. I would just say I had a fairly standard working week. It did feel like it went by really fast. I will say that. I've been saying a lot of filler words in this vlog. I've noticed I said a couple times. Trying to get better at that. But I've also been using the filler words as a way to kind of get around coughing. It's been now like 3 weeks and my cough is still persisting. We think Teresa's mom also got sick when she visited us, when Teresa and I were still coughing, and she believes she has bronchitis. I don't know if it's because I'm a type 1 diabetic that I'm still coughing and I'm just healing more slowly and recovering more slowly, which is true, or if I actually have like bronchitis at this point and I should see a doctor. Either way, I feel like okay. Like personally, I feel like I was fine moving around down at like the lake. I had no problem putting in the docks. So, or helping push around the giant raft that they have, or swimming in the lake. So I just don't know. I just don't know. I don't think I've ever talked to the vlog about this, but for the past couple of years, one of my idols, like, I would say idol is the correct word. Someone I admire, maybe, which is probably the definition of an idol, is the Jim Henson himself, and both what he did for children's education and charity of children in general. A very complicated man, especially with his family relationships, but just from a creative standpoint, just someone I really admire. He passed away too young because of the way his work ethic and how hard he pushed himself, and he died essentially of pneumonia, which could have been prevented. But there were a lot of factors in why it was not prevented. I had pneumonia myself once, and I put it aside for like 2 weeks of me trying to like get over it until I finally saw a doctor. And I remember being miserable, like absolutely bedridden during that time. So maybe I'll go see a doctor for seeing if I have bronchitis, but probably not. I probably will not get it checked out. I probably will just go into work because I'm scared of what will happen if I don't go to work. Not for myself, but for the general state of the work. I don't know why I feel so dedicated. I don't have any... Well, I can say I don't know why I'm so dedicated, but immediately the first thing that comes to mind is, one, it is a medical project and a fairly substantial one. So I feel committed to delivering something to our customers that is not even customers, but because technically our customers are the people that are purchasing the machines, the institutes, but the people our customers serve the general population. I like I don't I want the general population to be safe and feel good with our products, and I just feel like I have a pretty good knowledge basis, even though I'm only 24, on the project. And if I'm not there, things might slow down or things might get worse, especially with the senior engineer out. So, and I felt this way for a past few months, but I really think I'm kind of putting my foot in some things I should not be quite putting it in. I mean, it's good from a career perspective. It's certainly getting me a lot of recognition and visibility, but I I should really be taking more care of myself, and I know I won't. Um, which is what I rambled about in the last time I got off a track on these vlogs. It's something I think about a lot, as you can probably tell. Well, anyways, Dungeon Crawl Classics, that game is finally starting up. I finally got a colorful cast of my friends together, and they will be starting next Sunday, so that's all good. I'm super excited about that, and I will talk to you sometime in the future. All right. See ya. See ya.